Welcome to the second episode of Let's Talk Crypto by Team Crypto Cards. Following on the previous episode on blockchain, today we have another new member with us, Heli.
Yeah, so in the previous episode, we spoke about blockchain and how it could be applied in real life and its environmental effects and etc. So I think we missed out on like the real definition. So Aishwarya, can you say what from your how would you define blockchain?
All right. So I think blockchain technology, in simple words, is just a platform or like a database which consists of which stores a lot of information in terms of blocks. Like in the sense, all of these informations are at a specific address and stored in different blocks, and they are and it's called blockchain because there's a kind of network transaction that happens between these different informations within the database, so they're chained together. So I think that kind of puts what blockchain is together in a nutshell.
With repeated transaction verifications, we have enhanced security and transparency and basically decentralization, right?
Yeah, decentralization would be the word.
Recently, there has been a major shift in the protocol used. It has shifted from proof of work to proof of stake. I mean, which basically means that the amount of validation that you can put for a certain block would depend upon how much stake you have. That is the amount of ethers that you have. That is the NFT of Ethereum blockchain. Hello everyone, I'm Heli and I am really interested in exploring new technologies, studying about them, writing about them. So being a part of this team is me trying to explore more new stuff and getting to know it better.
I think Arnav knows more on Ethereum on that side. Arnav, can you say
Right.
something?
So, what you told Maya is pretty much what Ethereum wants us to know. And what Ethereum wants us to know that it is more than just a technology. It's more than just a network. It wants to actually make a difference. It wants to change how commerce goes about on the internet. And citing from its own website, I will just go about some and explain some things to you, what Ethereum is and how it works. So first and foremost thing that Ethereum wants to achieve is banking for everyone. Now, you and me, we have our bank accounts, but not everyone has access to financial services, right? But to access Ethereum, it's lending, borrowing, savings, etc., everything. It is just an internet connection and nothing else. So this provides access to a lot more people than right now the banking system is able to. And adding to that, Ethereum provides us with commerce guarantees. Now, what it means is that customers have a secure and built-in guarantee that what funds they are transacting, will only change hands if they provide what was agreed. Okay, so it's basically a, you remember barter system that was taught to us. This is a
Yeah.
very organized and better way of barter system, and you don't need any middle large companies to do business. So this is a very great thing about it.
So adding some technical jargon to what Arnav just said. So his entire point about the system being really secure and you knowing exactly what transactions are happening and ensuring that double spending, yeah, double purchases don't happen. There's a certain algorithm I think that Ethereum uses. It's called the proof of work algorithm, if I'm not wrong. So
Mhm.
what the proof of work algorithm basically does is that so every time like it basically sets the proof of work algorithm sets like a certain set of rules to every block, as I explained how blockchain works. So it sets a certain amount of rules to all of this and ensures that if these rules or if these constraints are broken, then that certain transaction will not take place. So this ensures that nobody can overwrite a certain transaction or do any kind of forgery in the sense of Ethereum transactions.
Thank you, Ashwarya. And I think that pretty much covers what blockchain is. And now let's come to today's topic, which is Ethereum. And we will answer all of your questions about Ethereum. But to get a better perspective of what Ethereum is and why it is so famous, let us first talk about Bitcoin, which is a very famous name, and most of you might have already heard it. So, what we will talk about Bitcoin is why did Ethereum come into existence? Why was there a need of Ethereum and its technology when there already was the concept of Bitcoin? And more about this will be taken over by Dayamaya. So, Dayamaya, please go ahead. And Ethereum on its own website says that it is built on Bitcoin's innovation, but then it says something about a big difference. And what this difference is that Ethereum is extremely programmable, and you can do lots and lots of transfers, and you can actually trade Bitcoin or on Ethereum. This is not the exact right way to say it, but yes, you can trade Bitcoin on Ethereum, and Bitcoin and Ethereum is more than payments. It's a marketplace to be exact, and you can trade and play games. You can play apps. You can make apps. You can trade finance. And the best part is blockchain is so secure that it cannot steal your data or censor you.
Okay, so let me tell you how I found out about Ethereum. So, like most people, I was just curious about like what Bitcoin is and the currency and the entire decentralization thing. And then, like Ethereum was also like the second to Bitcoin, but not much in spotlight. So when I actually started researching about what Ethereum was, like whether the price could go above Bitcoin, then I found out that Ethereum offers way more solutions than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was launched in 2009 by no like the unclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto name, but Ethereum was launched in July of 2015 by Vitalik Buterin, the Canadian and Russian programmer. So Vitalik Buterin, like in most of his interview, has stated that he's not just solving the currency problem, but he wants to, basically take the entire internet over Ethereum. If I'm not wrong, if I don't know like the right way to phrase it, but like most of the stuff could be done using Ethereum.
Oh,
Would
that's cool. So
anyone?
is it like you place
Yeah.
the constraints on the basis of like the amount of Ethereum you have? So does that mean that
Yeah,
people with more Ethereum can basically put on more constraints? But that kind of sounds like
exactly.
disadvantages, right? Because
Yeah,
it's
that
kind of creating a
is.
monopoly. Mm-hmm.
Just like you had mentioned, it creates a big risk of double purchasing and double spending. So there are more protocols that have been put into place regarding that.
Right.
Wait, I think Aishwarya got that wrong. I don't think it's per person. It's like the total cap. So when it comes to Bitcoin, we have the 21 million cap. Like there can only be 21 million Bitcoins. Whereas for Ethereum,
Yeah.
you have no such a longer cap. But like yearly, there are only like 18 million ethers, like ETH that can be mined. Like you can't
Mm.
go more than that. But yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
so this was in depth what the financial system is. And just to sum up the financial aspect of Ethereum, Ethereum has introduced something called DeFi or decentralized finance, and it is a global and open alternative to the current financial system. And we will take a separate episode to explain DeFi and other technologies that Ethereum has introduced, like decentralized autonomous organizations or DAOs, and we will talk about them in detail. Also, what Ethereum has introduced are NFTs, which are what around which crypto cards is working around. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and again that will be taken in a separate episode. But what Ethereum offers is ETH, its currency, Ether, and what you can say, how you can relate is ETH is basically Ethereum's cryptocurrency, or like Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, ETH is a cryptocurrency. Also, there are some wallets and Ethereum dApps.
Yeah, so I think in a line, we can just say that the difference between Bitcoins and Ethereum is that Bitcoin is like monetary based, right? So you can just limit its applications to monetary functions. But like Ethereum, on the other hand, is a platform. So on that platform, you can use executable like code to shift from, as you said, not just Bitcoin, but like a lot more things like apps and other technologies that you can trade in and out of Ethereum.
So I think one more major difference, like, or the primary difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum could be like the founders have a face in Ethereum. Like Vitalik Buterin comes out and speaks a lot, gives talks about how much decentralization can take place. Basically, like anything could be decentralized, right? Like a government, the whole point of institutions controlling people and the entire privacy issues, everything can be solved with Ethereum because it offers so many features. But Bitcoin does not have a face. The founders don't even want to reveal themselves. So I don't think much improvements have been made in Bitcoin. So I think there Ethereum is doing well. Even governments could be taken on blockchain, like with he says in one of his talks. So I think, yeah, like Arnav said, a whole lot can be done on Ethereum than blockchain, and constant improvements are being made.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Maybe because the creators have made it with a vision in mind and been improving it continuously to accommodate the changes that the world needs.
Yes, and increasingly people want less control. They don't want to be controlled by someone, and blockchain is basically, it's like public. Everything is public, and everybody can validate the transaction. And I think this we can solve a lot of societal issues from this.
All right, so I think as of now, we've spoken about Bitcoin, the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and why Ethereum is certainly better, right? So, with that being said, and as Arnav mentioned, Ethereum is different primarily because it is in the form of executionable code and not just monetary basis. So, kind of explaining on that, I would like to say that Ethereum, like there is something that you require in Ethereum, especially to run this code, right? So basically, firstly, I'll talk about the currency in Ethereum, which is called Ether. So Ether is like the fuel for a vehicle, and the vehicle being Ethereum mining here. So Ether is basically the currency. And why do you need Ether is because you need Ether to run the smart contracts and the applications on Ethereum blockchain. So I know I've used this technical jargon here, which is smart contracts, but I'll explain to you what smart contracts is. What's kind of interesting here is that smart contract was an idea which was brought forward in like 1990s, if I'm not wrong.
Using the technology that Aishwarya just talked about, the Bank of Israel is trying out Ethereum's technology to launch an internal digital shekel trial. The government is also planning to implement Ethereum on other smart applications that could run on digital infrastructure and all. So, don't you guys find this really cool? Like, how such a global implementation of this technology?
Exactly. Imagine going to college and paying to food court in Ethereum, and it would be so cool. So
Yeah.
this is another like Ethereum wants to establish this, and adding to what you just said, Ethereum is mostly focused on finance, right? So I just read, I don't remember where, but in some news I read that countries are slowly actually trying to put efforts to legalize Ethereum, and as you are already aware, India, no one can control Ethereum or blockchain, right? Because again, it's decentralized. It's the whole point of it. But India does not have any rules or regulations for Ethereum's transfer. But many countries are going and they're trying some rules, and they're actually trying to put a proper framework for Ethereum's use within the country. So that is something that will boost Ethereum's use. And imagine like in the future, I can imagine a future
I
where Ethereum is the currency we use for all and like everything we do.
It's kind of surprising that Israel finally has found its light through in the global world by actually taking up one of the leading technologies and doing something with it. Hopefully, they don't use it for anything, you know, something for like defense or like I don't know,
violence and all that. Yeah,
yeah, like national
I would
security. Because
agree with
Israel
that.
having such a powerful technology could not be the best thing we're looking for here. But all right,
It's
Makes
in the hands
sense.
of the leaders.
yeah.
So,
Okay,
what I wanted
so
to say is
yeah, Bol.
regarding the legalization of blockchain and technologies in India, like the Indian government, the RBI is also trying out having some internal trials regarding the use of blockchain for currencies and all.
Hmm.
That would actually be very nice once it's in place. So
Yes.
let's wait for it, I guess.
Yep. That's all we can do for now.
Okay, so I think that the four of us have covered almost everything there is to talk about Ethereum in general. And I mentioned some terms like DeFi, DOAs, and etc., NFTs and all. We will take them in future episodes. And what I want to iterate here is that the podcast you hear, if you want some particular topic that we take up and talk about it, please write to us at cryptocards@gmail.com or just DM us at the Instagram page. And you can like if you want, then if you are an expert in these things, if you know a lot about it, then again please write to us as we would love to have you on our podcast and talk with you because there are a lot of issues that are coming up in the world about these technologies. There are a lot of interesting things going about. And yeah, that's at Let's Talk Crypto. This is our motive. We want to talk about some fun stuff. And today we talked about Ethereum. And in the next episode, we will probably take up NFTs. So that's it for today. And thank you for tuning in, listening to us. Please take care, stay safe, and have a great day.
Thank you. Yeah, so this guy came up with the idea of contracts, right? So contracts is basically like a set of information which can be stored by a certain code, and this contract will be activated automatically when certain conditions are met. Like since most of you here are like, of course, would probably know basic coding. It's like when you're running a for loop, and then you know, okay, this condition is being met, so I will continue the iteration. So similarly, there are these certain conditions which are written in this code, and once these conditions are met, you will basically be able to use your Ether to access the smart contract, which consists of all the data that I just spoke about. Then, after just how Dayamaya explained in 2015 when blockchain came up, they thought that smart contracts would be of good use here. So they kind of brought smart contract as an agreement between two people, which is in the form of computer code. If I'm not wrong, the language used is Solidity. So they this thing runs on blockchain, and the information which is being stored is stored in public database. But however, since you need to use Ether, not anybody can access this information or do anything with it, which links us back to our first point that Ethereum is super super safe and the security is just amazing. This means that basically no third party is involved. All the constraints, all the conditions is laid down by the computer code, and it's just a pure transaction between the supplier and the buyer.